Hey everybody, it's me again. Today I want to talk about how to get into fitness as a gamer. So if you're new to my channel, I basically for the last 12 years of my life, I was a personal trainer, I was a CrossFit coach, I did Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, I pretty much did all the barbell sports, and I would train people doing it. And during that time, I was also an avid gamer, and for the last 6 years, I've been a very serious, or at least been playing a lot of World of Warcraft. And when I started streaming and making YouTube videos and I, kind of talked about my background, a lot of people were asking me, well, what's your advice on how to work out or get into fitness if you're primarily a gamer? And I actually think there's a lot of correlation, a lot of parallels between those that really like gaming and those that can really like fitness. And I think they can go hand in hand, and I'll kind of show you how. So the first thing I think you should do is figure out what motivates you to game. What do you like in video games? Are you competitive? Do you play like a lot of PvP? Do you play Counter-Strike? Do you play Overwatch? Are you really into the social aspect? Do you like raiding or doing Mythic Plus in World of Warcraft? Are you super creative? Do you like Minecraft? Or are you a collector? Do you like Pokemon, right? And by figuring out what motivates you to play a game, you can then try to take those aspects, what you really enjoy about your favorite games, and put it into fitness. And so I'll give a couple examples without going too long. Is if you're super competitive, then maybe you should try doing fitness where, let's say, running, and sign up for a local 5K. And maybe you get into competing with yourself or with other people, and how fast can you run a 5K? Or maybe you get into powerlifting and try to get into do a local powerlifting meet. And that is something that you are striving for. It's like, I want to be, I want to qualify for the nationals in my state. I want to try to be as strong as I can. You can kind of like, the list goes on and on. You can play intramural sports. There's so many things you could do to be competitive, and that's what motivates you. If you're a collector, you can think about it. I'll use the same thing as like powerlifting. I actually find a lot of powerlifters were gamers. Is you can think about getting PR, so a personal record. Let's say you can squat 100 pounds. When you go and test your squat again, let's say 6 months later, now you can squat 135 pounds. You've collected that number. And if you kind of look at it that way, you're collecting milestones over time. And yes, that collection will get harder and harder to get over time. But hopefully by the time you get to that plateau point, you just end up like working out anyway, so you don't need to artificially create a game in your head, right? So essentially, tip number one is find what motivates you to game and then apply that to a fitness routine. Next, combine the two hobbies. So perfect example of this was when Pokemon Go came out. And I'm not sure, I never really was into that. And I don't know if it's still a thing now, but if it is, I think it's a great example of combining the love of video games, the love of collecting, and working out, because you literally had to go outside. You had to go for walks. And so you could get into something like that where, okay, I need to find a game that forces me to move, things like Ring Fit, for the Switch. That was really popular. Pokemon Go, again, is another example. Just basically, all right, I'm going to do a game that satisfies my gaming itch and combine it with, okay, getting outside, working out, whatever. Another way you could do this is just combining the two in the sense of, all right, I'm going to ride the bike for 30 minutes today. Like a stationary bike. I'm going to go to Planet Fitness. I'm going to walk on the treadmill, and I'm going to watch a Twitch VOD. I'm going to listen to a podcast about video games. I'm going to, watch a video about how to be a better prot paladin in World of Warcraft. So you're kind of getting that, like, okay, I'm improving myself in the game and in real life. Listen to your favorite game soundtrack, whatever. Just basically, maybe if you have a favorite Twitch streamer, let's say, for example, or a favorite YouTuber, and they release a really long video, a long VOD of them playing, download it on your phone on the YouTube app, and don't watch it yet. Wait until you're going to go for your walk, and then listen to it on your walk. And now you can look forward to it. You're already looking forward to watching your favorite YouTuber or listening. A lot of people, I feel like, don't really watch YouTube anymore. They kind of listen. At least that's how I do it. I put all my YouTube videos in my headphones, and I clean, I do other stuff, right? So if I'm already going to listen to it anyway, I might as well do it while I'm doing the thing I'm trying to achieve, which is being productive in the sense of fitness. I'm trying to get into fitness. I get to reward myself by listening to my favorite YouTuber on my walk, for example. The next point I want to make is don't be all or nothing. And the idea is, throughout my personal training career, I kept hearing the same thing over and over again. Was basically people telling me if they can't go all in, they don't want to do it at all. And it's this idea that if I said right now, all right, stop watching this video and do 5 push-ups, would you think that is productive towards getting towards your goal of being fitter? I would say yes, but a lot of people that I've worked with in the past, and I've thought of this too early on, is they would say no. Like, what is 5 push-ups going to do? It's not really worth it. Well, let's use the example of leveling up your fishing in World of Warcraft. There is 300 skill levels in Khazalgar fishing. If I just logged in and cast a line for 5 minutes, I would get anywhere from 1 skill to maybe 10 skill. And it was just 5 minutes. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot when you're trying to get 300 skill, but imagine you just did that every day. You just woke up and the first thing you did was cast for 5 minutes. It seems like nothing in the grand scheme of things, but over the course of 30 days, you're probably at a 300 skill. And often they will build on top of each other. For example, let's say you do that for 7 days, and on the 7th day, you're at the 5-minute mark and you have this weird feeling like, I don't want to stop fishing. You might fish for 10 minutes. And then you do that for a month, and at the end of the month, oh, I kind of want to fish for 30 minutes. You kind of see where I'm going here. So if you start with, I'm going to do 5 push-ups every day when I wake up, next thing you know, hey, those aren't hard anymore. Maybe I'll do 10. And you can kind of see how you go from 0 fishing skill to 300 very quickly by just allowing your brain to be okay with doing something really small. And something simple that I do, now that I work from home, I don't work in a gym, I do this for a living. And so I'm sitting at this desk a lot. And whenever I get that feeling of, man, I feel like I'm not working out enough, or I feel like I'm not being super active, I literally, the minute I have that feeling, I get out of this chair, I touch my door of my apartment, I go into the master bedroom, touch that door, and I do that 5 times. Now, that takes me like 3 minutes. And I have a 900 square foot apartment. It's not very big. Am I getting a 6-pack or getting super fit? No, but I'm doing something. It just starts it. It gets your mind into, okay, I'm doing it. I'm getting into that routine. And so if you're only waiting to when you can do like the hardest workout, they have these things, I forget what they're called, like hard 75 or something, where like you do 2 workouts a day every day for like 30 days. And it's like, that's all well and good. But what happens at the end of those 30 days? You're probably like, fuck, I never want to do that again. Like, I'm exhausted. And you probably just end up doing nothing all over again. Now imagine instead of doing hard 2-day workouts for 30 days, imagine if you just did an easy 15 to 20 minute workout every day for 3 years. You're probably going to be a fitter person at the end of those 3 years. The next tip I have for you is kind of going back to that first point of what motivates you in games. Take a game mechanic that you enjoy or that motivates you and then put it into your fitness routine. And I'll use the example of World of Warcraft, where every week on Tuesday, I have world quests, weekly quests, and daily quests, or just one-time quests. And so what you can do is you can literally write down a to-do list of all the workouts you want to do. So let's say, for example, you're a WoW player. It's Tuesday. You probably have in your head, all right, I need to do this event. I need to go farm this mount. I need to run a Mythic Plus key. I need to do my raid. Write all that down. And then for everything you do in the game, write down something you're going to do IRL for you. So if you're going to do a world quest, you also need to do 10 push-ups. If you're going to do the raid, you need to go for a 45-minute walk. You get the point. So basically, when your in-game character does their quest, you then do a quest in real life. And it's kind of this like nice balance of like, I do the thing in game, which is fun, and then I get to do the thing in real life, which maybe isn't as fun, but the fun is coming from like the check mark. Put it in a Google spreadsheet. You can do Google Sheets for free and just make a little checkbox and check both of them. And you can have fun by writing down all the things your WoW characters have to do, and then just make another slot for you. So if you have like your paladin, your shaman, your demon hunter, and you have all your to-do lists, and you'll have the satisfaction of every Monday night when you go through before the next weekly reset, you can see like, oh man, like all of my characters, including me, have done all of their quests. And that brings me into the next point, which is pretend you are your WoW character or your in-game character and create something to prepare for. So let's say, for example, in World of Warcraft, I really enjoy raiding and doing Mythic Plus. And so I'm rewarded and motivated to do my quests, to do my farming, to craft gear, because my raid is relying on me. I'm the Holy Paladin. If I'm not prepared for the raid, if I haven't studied for the raid or have my consumables, I'm not going to do well, so I'm going to let people down. Do that in real life. All right, I want to be fit. I want to live a long time so I can play a lot of video games and meet a lot of people and have fun. So let's go back to the 5K example. Sign up for a 5K that's a year from now or 6 months from now. And then when you're making your daily quest, your week quest, whatever, you have that idea in mind that I'm doing things now to get ready for my raid in real life, and I'm building my character. That's why I think a lot of gamers like powerlifting, for example, because it feels good to like see the progress. Like you kind of graphing and putting your weights on like a spreadsheet, and you're like, oh, I put in work, I see a result. It's like your item level in real life. And so just pretend like if you need to put it in, again, in a spreadsheet and give yourself a fake item level, or you could even go back into the analogy of the quests, put like an arbitrary currency on it. Let's just say I get a WoW token, a real life WoW token, every time I do a quest on my IRL part of the spreadsheet. And keep track of how many you have. And then maybe you can give yourself little rewards. Like after I've collected 100 of these coins, I get to, I don't know, pick something that motivates you in real life. You buy yourself a mount. You go for ice cream. I don't know, like just something fun. Like you go out to dinner with your wife or husband. I don't know, anything, just something that motivates you. And it's like you're working towards something just like you do in the game. Like the game is motivating because there's other people relying on you, and it means something that when your character's item level goes up, your enjoyment can often go up in the sense like you can do harder content, you get better rewards, all that stuff. And that can happen in real life. So try to take that kind of concept and put it into what you do in your daily life. My next point is stop waiting for the right time to get started. I would often find, and this kind of goes on to the point I talked about earlier about all or nothing mentalities, is every year around New Year's, the gyms would blow up. And it's this idea that this year's going to be different and it's the perfect time to start working out. And it's just not true. It's just, first of all, the new year is a number that we made up. It's not real. It's like, okay, on the calendar, we've decided this is the first day of this year, but that's completely made up. Your body doesn't care. Like your body doesn't give a shit. It's Monday. Like if you start a diet on Wednesday, your body's not gonna be like, no, you're not allowed to start a diet until it's Monday. Like that's not how it works. And so stop putting those arbitrary barriers on yourself. And I equate this to, I was in stream the other day and someone was like, is this a good time to start? Wow, I feel like I've missed the boat. Well, if everyone had that mentality, you missed the boat 19, 20 years ago. Like no one would ever play WoW. If I had listened to that, I was being told it was too late to start WoW and BFA when I started. But I've had 6 amazing years of playing that game. And it's the same thing in life with your fitness. Who gives a shit if it's Monday, if it's the new year or whatever, just start. And going back to that first analogy, just do 5 push-ups right now. Go touch your door right now. Just get started. And that's all it will take. And like to kind of piggyback off this point is if you create artificial start dates, you will then create artificial end dates. Meaning, let's say you start on Monday and you go, I'm going to work out for a month and I'm going to do it every single day. Now, you do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is raid night. You get out of work late and you have to run straight to raid and you can't go to the gym. Now, because you've said that I start on the 1st of the month and I end on the 31st of the month and I need to work out every day. Now that you've missed a Thursday, what I would often find with my clients is they would feel like they need to start over. And even worse than that is not only do they need to start over, but then they'll wait until the next month to start over. So it's the 7th of the month and they go, well, I fucked that up. I'm just going to wait and just ruin the rest of the month and I'll get started in the next month. It's like, what are we doing? You're wasting so much time. Like just, hey, you took a day off, just start again. And if you don't have a start and end date, you're just doing it for life. The start date was when you're born and the end date's when you pass. Like you're just going to keep going, right? And the last thing, the last tip I have for you, and this doesn't really has anything to do with gaming, is just a general rule is just be good to yourself. Be nice. Don't punish yourself with exercise. You don't punish yourself with gaming, so don't do it with exercise. Do not exercise as like out of guilt or out of this idea that like I'm a shit person and I need to punish myself by riding this bike really hard and I deserve this pain because I was naughty, I had a cheeseburger and I was lazy, so I'm going to punish myself. If you think about this. If I punished you and made you do something, regardless of how fun it was, like if I punished you, if I said, hey, you ate a cheeseburger, go ring that bell. And if the bell could have the greatest sound in the world, you were associating the sound of the bell with the consequence. Like, this is a punishment. You're in timeout. I'm putting you in timeout. Go ring that bell. But now you've taken this beautiful sound and put a negative connotation on it. So if your goal is to make exercise fun, or like you have the thought of, I would really love to love exercise. Well, if you're thinking about it as a punishment, you're almost guaranteed to never love it. Why would you love something that is a punishment? Right? If you get put in timeout as a kid, going and sitting in the corner is not fun, right? So why would you do that? Now, of course, I would want my mom to be like, hey, you're in trouble, Zach, go play Pokemon. I would have been like, sick. But even still, it's this idea that, okay, now Pokemon is the thing that my mom is punishing me with. And it can be the best thing in the world, but eventually that may wear on you. Like, well, I'm making myself do this. And not only that, but I'm punishing myself with this activity. I'm never going to like it. And so when you stop maybe having that vulnerable moment and maybe you actually like yourself a little bit more and you feel more and more confident, you're less likely to go exercise because, well, you only exercise when you're punishing yourself. And if you've been a good boy or if you feel pretty good about yourself, well, I don't need to exercise. And then the cycle repeats. You let yourself go and it just keeps going on and on and on. So essentially, the best thing to kind of TLDR of this whole thing, if you made it this far, is think about, why do you love World of Warcraft? Why do you love gaming? And put all of those things that motivate you to game and try to adapt them over to fitness. And not only that, take the mentality of when you get out of work and you're so excited to game, if you allow your brain to shift the mentality of fitness from something you have to do to something you want to do, then maybe one day you will get out of work and be excited to go to the gym. I know that seems strange, but it can happen. And a lot of it comes out of kindness, not beating up yourself, and not, again, setting up these artificial barriers of like, I need to start now, and if I quit, I have to start over. None of that. Just start. Either start playing WoW, start working out, have fun, just do something. At the end of the day, get up and go for a 5-minute walk and just get started. So I hope that helped. If you're interested in more topics like this, please subscribe to the YouTube channel or watch me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Acadian. I also have a Discord that you can hang out with. I plan on making like a fitness part of that Discord where we can like share in each other's struggles or successes. And I look forward to maybe one day making up little like gamer fitness programs that will be completely free that you can just, follow along. I have the fitness routine that I do around my gaming, and I plan on sharing that publicly with my Discord community. So check me out over there. But as always, guys, I hope it helped, and I'll see you next time.